Hello, I thought I would try something new. Who knows if I'll be able to stick to it, but I thought it'd be fun if when I sit down to paint, I kind of invite you in and say hello, and then to keep it simple and not require a bunch of editing, I'm just going to fold the camera down and then we can talk while we paint. I like listening to other artists sometimes when I paint, so I don't know, maybe you don't want to listen to me. I don't know. I thought it would be fun. It makes me feel closer to you all. So here goes. All right. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of jarring, but honestly, it saves me from having to take the videos and edit them, and then it becomes such a production that I don't take the time to do it. And so I thought maybe I wouldn't let that get in the way. I'm gonna do a little bit of sketchbook work. I've got a new class on Teachable and Skillshare on sketchbooks where we do a lot of painting in these. And so yeah, well, we can talk more about what those two different versions are, but I thought I would come in here and do a couple things. I'm feeling like it needs some more contrast. So I thought I'd come in here with these yummy, I love these oil pastels. I have a link to them at my supplies. It's Mungvo, beautiful colors, great texture. I'm in love with them, and they've been lasting. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. And when I do oil pastels, sometimes I rub them, sometimes I don't, just depending on kind of what I'm going for. That's why my hands always look like they do, which I don't care. Those are artist hands, right? So this is what I do, is just come back through when I have a few moments or when I want to warm up. Sometimes I do this in front of the TV at night when I'm watching TV with my husband. Well, everyone in the family knows I don't actually watch the TV. I'm always painting, messing around. The TV is on, and if it's a show I can follow without actually watching it. Oh my God, there's a train going by. That's what that squealing is. That's the train rarely squeals when it goes by. It's gonna do it now that I'm doing a video. Oh well. What can you do? Oh, look at that color. Light blue. Oh my goodness. So pretty. So this page has just about everything on it. I start with a gesso, well, let's see if I got some here that I haven't painted on yet. Yeah, here's one. Gesso and paint mix. And then I start just adding, I clean my brush on the pages. I scratch, here's one that's been scratched. I had something underneath, so I painted it with some gesso and then scratched little marks in it to get texture. These are all in various stages of wherever they are. So this page is no different. It's got a lot of different stuff on there, but boy, these oil pastels just are delicious. Anyway, maybe I'll be able to post a few of these videos a week on YouTube and IGTV, and that way they don't require, like I said, a bunch of editing and time, which is something I don't have. I feel like I need, okay, I need really 2 or 3 of me, because the one would do just all the painting and videoing. Like, I love, you know, painting when the video is running and talking to you all. So that's what Suzanne #1 would do. Then Suzanne #2 would do all of the social media. Yeah, actually I need 3 of me. So Suzanne #2 would do all the social media, posting, which I love doing too. I love engaging with people. So she would do that, and, you know, maybe the marketing piece. And then Suzanne number 3 would do the business stuff, you know, the administrative stuff. But there is only one Suzanne at this point. Someday I may hire some help, but not there yet. That's okay. Oh, see, every time I add a new color, I'm loving it. This is the orangish yellow. That's a funny name. Not very creative. All right, so I'm going to put that aside for another day, and I can just close it because I don't care. Those oil pastels get across, and they're not going to. This one, this is the favorite sketchbook, the one that kind of started it all, that we go through in my class. Actually, we go through a lot of these and do some painting. Oh yeah, so the class is on Teachable and Skillshare. So if you already have a Skillshare subscription, it's called Grow Your Creative Practice with Sketchbooks. If you don't, it's on Teachable and you can purchase it. The Teachable version is longer. It's 4 hours of instruction instead of 3 on Skillshare. I just added a bunch of bonus modules, basically. So this page, I started with brown umber and gesso on the bottom, and then went over with some sort of like off-white, and then I went in with some oil pastels, and now I think I'm going to put some, oh, I have added a little bit of paint. There's a little bit of paint here. Now I'm just gonna add paint, and I don't know when I do this kind of spread if it's gonna end up being an abstract or if it's gonna end up being a background for a floral or one of each. You know, I don't really decide that necessarily at this point. I'm gonna get some acrylic. No, you know, I can use some acrylic. Let's use a little bit of acrylic. I have all kinds of acrylic paints I like to use. I use Liquitex, probably mostly Golden, and then Nova Color. This is that company that the only other artist I know that has basically taught me about it is Betty Franks, and I'm gonna get some gesso. Oh, I just realized that on my supply list for the class, I think I forgot to put gesso. I just kind of thought everybody has gesso, but of course not. So I'm going to need to add that. I'm going to make this more of a turquoisey. So I'm going to add, no, that's going to make it green. I figured this out once. I think it's the how to make turquoise, because it's one of my favorites. I think you have to use this sort of lemony yellow. That's definitely not turquoise. I added too much. Oh well, it's a pretty color. Yeah, we'll play with some of that. I got too much of it though. So this is what I do when I have too much. I go to a blank page, I clean my brush, and then that becomes, you know, something on the next layer of whatever goes there, and I don't care if I close my page over it. So, well, that's a pretty color. Can't remember how I created the turquoise or livened it up. But I really like that color though. I love the infinite number of colors that exist. The concept makes me happy. I'm going to put a sheet behind this page so I don't muck up. Otherwise I end up with, what did I get? I have one here, I saw it, yeah. See, this blue kind of bled over into that page, which is not a big deal. I can cover it. So I like this umber kind of showing through. You know where I got that idea? I gotta get her last name. It's something like, it's Adele. I'm sure if you go on YouTube, she's been doing these videos, like these Saturday morning art videos forever. Adele Sevenson or something like that. Anyway, she says in her process, and she does very, I would say not super colorful abstracts, completely different style. But she always starts her paintings with the brown umber, or the raw umber, I think she says. So then I said, well, this is my sketchbook where we try things. Let me try that. So that's what got me on this idea with the raw umber at the bottom, underneath. And what she says is, no matter what you're doing, even if you paint over it completely, something will show through, some depth, some interest. So I think, of course, unless you're completely covering it with several coats, which I don't do, then I think she is onto something. Because I can see, I even like how, see how just on the edge here, there's just little bits of it? So how fun is this? Because I don't even, the sketchbook has really taught me to be free. And I have not, that's not come easily, believe me. It may seem like it does when you see me now, but I spent years pretty much terrified. Oh, I laugh now because I'm like, what is it exactly that we're scared of when it comes to creating? Like, it's not life-threatening. But I asked my followers one time on Facebook, what are your biggest obstacles to creating? And time was one, of course, but before time, more people felt fear. And that's why I blogged about it, and just because I could so relate. Like, what? And then I was like, okay, so this doesn't endanger our life. I think mostly you're afraid that you're going to be terrible. I think I was. And if you don't try, then you can never be terrible. You just talked yourself out of it. And I did that in my head for years. I mean, I was creating other things. I was doing fiber and spinning wool and felting, and I've always been a creative person, but I really just kind of got sick of hearing myself make excuses. Oh yeah, another one of my big excuses was that I was too old to start an art business, because I was, I guess, 53 when I started it. I'm 55 now. So that was, I held on to that one for a couple of years. Yeah, I'm too old. I missed it. Missed it. Too late. Didn't go to art school. Oh well, poor me. I believed it. And I got sick of hearing myself say that one. I didn't really say those things out loud, I just sort of thought them. So that is probably all I'm going to do in that one. Let it dry. And what's next? Let's see if this one needs anything. I painted the front of this one. I realized I'm going to start painting the front of them. This is an old one. I did these older flowers, and then I basically painted over the things that I didn't yeah, didn't like. This is really heavy watercolor paper. Yeah, this definitely needs work. I haven't figured out what to do here yet. I went in with some cream in the background. I'm not really liking that. So sometimes when I have that happen where I'm just hitting a wall, I'll do something that seems like it's not a good idea at all. So let's try that. I'm gonna try a pink in the background, which just seems like it doesn't go at all, and like it might completely ruin it, and who cares, because it's a sketchbook and I'm just trying to decide which brush I want, and I can you know, go over it. I was thinking I'd stay in the blues and greens, but it's just not working for me. So let's see. This is acrylic I'm using. I'm also wanting to practice, oh, I signed up for Melanie Morris's, if you don't know her florals, oh my God. They're delicious, but I signed up for her Fearless Florals class, and she does a lot of overpainting, you know, where you like this, where you cut in, and so I kind of wanted to start practicing that more in my sketchbook. You know, cut around, and she, you know, cuts around the blooms, and I've done some of that, especially with a background that's, I mean, now, what she does though is let some of it come through, so right there I didn't let any, I went right up to the leaf. But I don't know, I might end up not liking, you know, I'm going to leave some of the background. See if I like that any better. What else is going on? Well, here in Nashville, we're renting a house, and this room here is really like basically a front living room, but it had the best light. And since it's a rental, you know, I was like, I'm taking that room. There's a freedom when you're renting a house, not very long. I mean, hopefully we're only going to be here a couple more months. It's been hard to find a house. Trying to find a house right now, holy cow. It's a thing countrywide. They're in short supply and everything's competitive. So, who knows? Now I'm watering down the pink a little bit so that some of that background shows through. In fact, it might already be dry, but I'm going to see if I can pull some of this up. Yeah, I got a little of it, so that's not so opaque. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I had so much fun creating this sketchbook. What was that? Oh, sketchbook class that, I mean, literally, I have probably a list of maybe 10 classes that I want to create that people have expressed an interest in, or that I think would be fun and helpful. Everything from like, you know, how to scan your work and turn it into prints, some technical stuff like that, to the differences between watercolor, gouache, acrylic gouache, acrylic, you know, and how to use them all. So I'm already thinking about which one I'm going to do next. Super excited to be on Teachable now too. That was on my list, because Skillshare is, you know, it's fine for people who are already subscribed or want to keep a subscription running, but you know, a lot of people don't. They just want to get the class and then have access to it for a year. Well, I'm not sure I'm loving the pink either. It kind of looks like a big pink blob, but you know, I can come back through it with other stuff, and I always find it's a good idea to walk away, let things dry, and you know, add more another day. So this is what I'm going to do though, is I have this paint on my little palette. So I'm going to go find a blank page, preferably one that's been gessoed. There's one. And put some of it on there. It ends up, you know, a lot of times getting covered up, but this way I'm learning about marks, not wasting paint, and who doesn't love pink and green together? So pretty. Okay, see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me.